New York business litigation question. What is the difference between a summons with notice and a summons and complaint? Well, first, let's look at what a summons is. A summons does just that. It summonses a defendant to appear in court. What does that mean? The summons says you need to appear in court. That's what a summons is. And one more thing before we leave what a summons is. What does it mean to appear in court? Well, a defendant can appear in court in a couple ways. Number one, by physically appearing in court, going to court. And by the way, if it's a company or corporation or a limited liability company, the corporation or limited liability company needs to appear through an attorney. That's what the New York rules say. Another way is by filing a document with the court. That's construed or constitutes an appearance. It doesn't constitute a physical appearance, but it constitutes an appearance for the purposes of the summons in most cases, in most instances. And the third is that a party can appear in court by and through an attorney. Now, what is a complaint? A complaint is a document that says the defendant's been served. This is the reason for the lawsuit, and it alleges causes of action, for example, like breach of contract, fraud, defamation, things like that, and it spells out the elements in sufficient detail, or ideally in sufficient detail, to put the party on notice, or the defendant on notice, that it's been sued and why. A notice, on the other hand, a summons with notice, the notice that accompanies the summons, it's very general, non-specific, and says to the defendant, you've hereby been sued. If you'd like to know why, make a demand for a complaint. So a summons with notice, the response to that is a demand for a complaint. There are other responses, but generally speaking, for our purposes, the response is a demand for a complaint. And then there can be more motion practice and other things that happen after that. Again, that's the general response. There can be other responses. Now, I am New York business and real estate attorney James DeCristofaro. I go by the Lawyer James. For questions about New York business litigation or New York real estate, you can give us a call for a 10-minute complimentary phone call with an attorney, 212-500-1891. That's the number. Or you can visit our website, thelawyerjames.com, thelawyerjames.com, and you can fill out a contact form. Just want to let you know that the contents of this video, they're not intended to be legal advice. They are for general, informational, and educational purposes only. Watching this video does not create an attorney-client relationship with my firm or with any other attorney. If you have questions, please speak with an attorney. Now, with all that being said, we'd be happy to speak with you.